I keep seeing these videos of people talking about if the genders were reversed, this, that. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Those are the same type of people that advocate for gender equality. Keep that in mind, right? Because I saw a video of a firefighter just walking up towards his, truck, and it was raining. A good-looking firefighter, and there's a bunch of women just, screaming, obviously because it's good-looking. And you see people in the comments talking about, if the roles were reversed, like, what do you mean? It makes no sense if the roles were reversed. First off, the dude wouldn't mind if a bunch of women was cheering at him. If anything, they'd probably, like it, lose his confidence. Like, what's the big deal? It's nothing special. And if the roles were actually reversed, it's a totally different story because a bunch of men cheering on a woman because she's good looking while she's walking towards a fire truck. I mean, first off, that's weird. Second off, I don't know why a bunch of men are screaming or chanting or, I don't know, whistling. And number three, you got two different perspectives. First off, a man sees a bunch of women screaming at him. He's not going to see it as a threat, right? It's a bunch of women. What are they going to do? But a woman sees a bunch of men shouting at him because they're good looking. And it's a two different story. They could, interpret that situation completely different as a threat because they can't protect themselves in that situation, They're feminine and men's masculine. So it's two different things. So this type of videos where they're talking about if the roles were reversed, this, it makes zero sense. Especially because most of those guys literally advocate for gender, all genders are not equal, right? So then how can you complain about genders being reversed? Or for example, you see these videos that I've seen a while back on IG where a dude asks a woman what's their preference in the height of man, and then the woman gives say she wants a tall man, gives a tall figure, and then he brings out a weighing scale. Like, what? I don't get it. If a woman prefers a tall man, she prefers a tall man. What's the big deal? If the roles were reversed, it doesn't. Okay, but don't ignore. Just ignore the part where most of the women in the interview are just hoes, people that just go on the clubs and shit. But that's not the point. The point is, a man has a preference, a woman has a preference, right? So, for example, if you have sisters, you probably get it, right? My sisters would want a taller man. It's kind of stupid. What kind of woman? Okay, I'm just generalizing, right? What kind of woman would want a man shorter than them? Okay, what kind of feminine woman would want a man that's shorter than them? It's weird. It's like, the guy has to be taller to match that feminine/masculine persona, I guess you could say, right? So the same way a woman wants a taller man, taller than them, because they're feminine, that makes, I guess, the situation look more masculine, the guy. It's the same way a dude wouldn't want a woman that's shorter than them, right? You wouldn't want, some dudes do it again, generalizing. A man wouldn't want a woman that's taller than them, because you could argue they look like a cook, right? Or she looks more dominant in that situation, she looks more masculine. It's the same shit, right? It's just nature. You can't complain about something just based on, I guess you could say, I don't know, intuition, right? Just a subconscious thing. Obviously, a taller man also has better genes, most likely, right? Because he actually grew and developed properly. And they talk about, fair enough, the actual person being short, as a side topic, right? People complain that height is genetics. But genetics just determines the capacity of what height you could reach. Most people never reach their genetic capacity, right? So, I guess that's a side topic. But then again, you could argue that you're a kid, right? So it's your parents' fault that they never fed you the correct foods so you could actually grow and reach that genetic potential. But regardless, why would you complain on something you can't change? Okay, maybe you can't change, right? It's a different story. But yeah, so I guess that's just a little tangent. I doubt I'm the only one that thinks like that, especially when I see those comments, the genders will reverse BS, which makes no sense. That only works, that concept, philosophy, whatever you want to call it, only works if you believe genders are equal, which you can't, you are stupid if you believe that, because it's very clearly different. So, yeah, I literally just thought of that while I was watching that stupid firefighting video and I saw the comments. Just retarded.